I would like to thank my sponsors Bybit for sponsoring the stream. If you do like my content, if you want to get access to the indicators, what you can do is sign up to our referral link. We've got a referral program within the Discord where you only have to be trading, and then for every 500k in total volume, you'll get access to indicators, group access, and so on. So definitely worth your time, in my opinion. So with that being said, for those of you who are familiar with the streams, we like to start with TPO. So within this chart, we see a couple of things. We have a 4-tile section, and within this area, we've got daily profiles. Right here, we've got weekly profiles. Right here, we've got monthly profiles. Essentially, these are daily profiles as well, but it's just, I use 2 charts for that. One for the composites, and then one for, to see, do we have any anomalies in the form of single prints, naked point controls, and so on, or polar lows for that matter, right? We got a polar low here that is currently being swept. So, yeah, exactly. The polar low is finally coming. I mean, we were talking about this for ages, right? And we're finally sweeping back into that polar low after rejecting at the 5-week composite value high there. So super clean trade. We'll go over that in a bit. A 25-day composite, I mean, is it valid? I think that's it's a bit too much, to be honest. Essentially, it's similar to the 5-week, right? But I wouldn't really do it on a single day. I would just go for the weekly composites. But let's do a Q&A at the end of the stream. First things first, daily profiles. Do we got anything of interest within the daily profile? I would say the first or the only thing that I think is interesting here is that if we zoom in a bit more, we can see that Bitcoin has been auctioning within a old 9-day composite, right? We got support, resistance, and this was the polar low that we were targeting for a while. We are now breaking below a 9-day composite value low, which is confluent with the previous year value high. If Bitcoin is bullish, or if we're going to be seeing any signs of relief, we need to be reclaiming 81.5k ASAP, because if we don't, it's a sign that we are accepting below value, at which I expect Bitcoin to auction way lower. How low are we going to be going if we do accept below the 9-day composite? Well, for that, I would like to take you to the weekly profile. So within this chart, right here, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of overlapping value. And then this week is actually going to be the 6th week of these profiles, at which we can merge all 6 weeks together, which will give us a 6-week value. For now, if we take a look at the 5-week value area high, we can see the interaction here. Look at where let me just expand this like that. And let's scroll this up, scrunch this up right there. So we open up the week within a 5-week composite. We fail to break below. Where do we go? We go all the way towards the 5-week composite value area high. Everybody extremely euphoric, right? Oh my gosh, we're going way higher. Then Trump comes out with the tariffs, right? Boom, get slang back down. Where do we go? Composite value area low. We fail to break below the composite value low. Where do we then go? We go back towards the 30-day rolling VWAP, which was auctioning up here. So essentially this week, I'm a bit gutted that I wasn't able to trade it, because it's super clean. It was a good trading week, right? We can see that Bitcoin is auctioning at the value high and the value lows. It's very clean rotations, rejecting off the 30-day VWAP, like nothing new, all right? Thing is, this naked point of control is like sticking out, right? It's like, damn, it's obvious. So if Bitcoin is not really able to accept back within that composite ASAP, right, above 82k-ish, we need to be expecting a reversion, right? Let's say that we do this and we reject, and then I think we're going to go all the way down towards 76k. We got something else at 76k as well. I will show you guys that in a bit. But I think as long as we trade below the composite value low at the weekly at 82k, things are looking fucked on Bitcoin, right? Get back above, then sure thing, man. At that point, I'm targeting 88k, right? But for now, it's not looking good. The monthly, same story. Rotation within previous month value. We're now trading below previous month value low. That's not bullish. Well, you don't really want to be seeing that. We're forming a single print here, so we might be coming back up early on in the week. Or if this is a drive lower heading into Monday, we might be getting a bullish week, right? But we'll have to see. It's going to be a big week because, who knows what Trump comes out next. He's kind of like a loose cannon. Everything can happen, but so far, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing for longs. And I will shift gears if we're getting back within the composite. So that being said, is everything clear so far within TPO? Good evening, Vertical. Hope you well, man. What's up, Tomif? What's up, Nebula? TJ Crypto. Good evening, brother. The wind blade. Are we looking at Sui? Not yet. G Creasy. Structure-wise, we look shitty. Yeah, man, we look bad. To be honest, it's looking bad. Because, A, we are trading below the 9-day composite value low. Essentially, that means that we are imbalanced down. Right? That's bearish. We have a 6-week value area low here. Currently 5-week, but this week we'll be closing within value. We're currently trading... What's up, MJ? We're currently trading below that 6-week value area low. Like, that's bearish. Because why? It's because we're imbalanced down. The naked point of control is sticking out here, right? It's like... To me, it's like as long as we're trading below 82k, 76 is on the cards, okay? I mean, yeah, like I'm leaning towards it as well. Like if people are over, being extremely fearful here, going into the futures open or whatever, we might get a squeeze higher. I think bullish confirmation is going to be above 82k. So let's just move forward, right? TPO is clear. At that point, we're moving towards the long-term VWAPs. VWAP. One of the things that we can assume, let me just outline this first. For those of you who are new to the streams, left top is the yearly VWAP. Right here, we've got quarterly VWAP. This is our monthly VWAP, and this is the weekly VWAP, right? If we're taking a look at the yearly has been auctioning within previous year value area high. At this point, I'm kind of thinking that this is starting to look like compression, right? Where every bounce back upwards gets faded, right? High, lower high, and we continue to grind back into the previous year value high. So is this going to be holding another attempt? I don't know. But what I do know is that whatever we do down here, we better be reclaiming that previous year value high ASAP, because if we do not reclaim it, then what do? Right? As per laws of market dynamics, if we accept back below, let's just say 82k, and Bitcoin is not able to reclaim this as support, this will become resistance, and we're likely going to be targeting a move back into 65k. That's bearish, right? That's not good, but I want you guys to be aware of it, right? We need to be aware of this potential scenario where Bitcoin fails to hold us as support, and we're going to be auctioning back within value towards previous year VWAP. Wouldn't be the first time, but people are like to be stubborn, where it's like, no, Bitcoin can't go that low. Well, trust me, it can, if it accepts back within value. Taking a look at the quarterly. I want you to take a look at two things here based on the quarterly. I want to be taking a look at the quarterly VWAP on its own and as a composite from the two last quarters merged together. We're going to be starting it on its own in the form of a previous quarterly value. Previous quarterly VWAP, previous quarterly value area high, previous quarterly value area low, right there, this line. Quarter opens up below previous quarterly value area low. What does the market try to do? It tries to accept back within value. Does it do a good job of accepting back within value? No. Pretty shitty job, right? Look at the rejection bar. Damn. Like, that's bearish, okay? That is why we're getting a reversion lower again, right? Where the market is auctioning lower towards these inefficient lows here. And right now it's going to be important to see if this is going to be just a sweep of the lows and a reclaim of previous year value high for longs, or if this is a genuine break lower and acceptance below previous year value, at which we can target this low and potentially much lower, okay? So the quarterly on its own is looking bad. Now let's take a look at the quarterly in the form of a composite. In this example, I have merged all the data points from October 1st up until 31 March, okay? The last two quarters. What this is telling us is it is rotational within this quarterly value. The previous low, it's not a surprise, it formed exactly at the 2-quarter composite value area low right here. if we're going to be auctioning lower, we've got the 365-day rolling. Let me just see if I can add that to this chart. Yeah. So we've got the yearly rolling VWAP here, right? I think yo, what's up, Grant? Hope you're well, man. Good to see you. I think if there's going to be like, I don't know, man, like if Trump's going to be dropping another bomb or whatever, right? Everybody's getting super bearish, whatever. And we start to break, like we're getting a big flush lower back below this previous low into the quarter composite, into yearly rolling VWAP, and then we reclaim it as support. In my opinion, this is exactly where we need to be looking for which altcoins are showing strength, right? Which is outperforming. Is it hype? Is it Sol? Certainly won't be Ethereum, right? I think that's clear. But, you just want to take a look at what's outperforming. And at that point, we're going to be taking a look at longs for potential reversion back into maybe the quarterly composite point of control. But from a high time frame perspective, I'm still thinking that, this area right here, max opportunity. Because the previous times, like if we zoom out, let me just go back towards the regular chart. I tend to do this like every stream, but for those of you who are new to the yearly rolling VWAP, let's go towards the 3-day chart, right? Like this is the yearly rolling VWAP, right? Usually where people get extremely bearish. And that's why, when we're getting a big reversal. The moment we accept back below yearly VWAP, well, at that point, bear market, pack up your bags, and I'll see you guys. At that point, I'll be building stuff and streaming, and but in terms of investing, like you should be just taking it loosely at that point. It's good for shorts, like perp trades and whatever, but don't be holding on to your altcoins because they will be going to fucking zero. All right. So yearly rolling VWAP, right? 365-day, right here. Remember, does anybody of you remember how they felt on this day? Right here. When it was trading all the way down here. Everybody was screaming, oh my gosh, this shit is over. Like, no bull run. What the fuck is this gay-ass consolidation? There's never going to be another push higher, right? This was max opportunity. I cried. I mean, I'm asking because I know I cried, right? That's why I'm not the only one, right? So I think, this right here, if we resemble that point and we look at what we have right here, we're basically pinched between, the 30-day and the 365-day, right? We're capping it. So we're, pinched between these two. If we're getting a sweep below and a reclaim, it's a good long towards at least a 30-day. Reclaim 30-day, and it's back towards the quarterly rolling VWAP, and back above the quarterly, and it's simple. It's all-time high, okay? So these are just a really clean indication of where are we relative to trend, where are we within the cycle. I think the yearly rolling VWAP at 75K, it is confluent with, remember what I said to you guys right here. Do you remember this naked point of control? 76, right? So it's confluent with each other. There's an anomaly here. If we're going to be auctioning lower, like that's going to be the sticky point that I want to see hold of support. Yeah, I think we'll take a look at ES in a bit. Give me a sec. So this is what I wanted to say based on the quarterly. Now let's go back towards this right here, regular chart. Then we have the monthly. So at the monthly, same story here. Like previous month value low was holding downside, was capping downside. Now we're clearly breaking below that previous month value area low. So is this bullish? No, it's not, right? If anything, it's an indication that we're likely to sweep all of the lows and then potentially into the 365-day VWAP, okay? Everything clear based on VWAP so far for you guys. Can we move forward towards the next chart? Let me know in the chat. Or are there any other questions? Let me know as well. So to quickly summarize, we've based our thesis on TPO, where it's bearish because we're accepting below a 6-week composite. The weekly naked point of control at 76K is sticking out. So that's going to be an area of interest to us. The yearly is compressing into yearly value high. That's kind of bearish. The quarterly is bearish. The monthly is bearish. The weekly is bearish. So I think it's safe to say that Bitcoin is, bearish at this point. If we slap everything on a single chart here, let's go back to this chart. Rolling VWAP, high volume bars, 30-minute time frame. Do we have anything of interest right now? Yes, we do. So if we slap everything on a single chart, H4, H8, let's take a look at the 8-hour chart. Rolling VWAP, be gone. I would say, by taking a look at this chart, the thing that catches my eye here is this support here, right there. So never mind the poor lows, we just swept them, so that's that's gone. What I would like to see, I think catching anything down here is pretty risky. Bullish confirmation for me is really simple. Like if Bitcoin can auction back above previous year value high, at that point I'm like, all right, the low is in my opinion in, and we're going to go towards these equal highs. If we sweep it into this demand right here, demand, I can't write, but you get the drill. And accept back above previous year value high is an indication to me that Bitcoin is failing to break back within previous year value. Bitcoin is now reclaiming the weekly composite. Bitcoin is trading back above the previous month value area low. So those are all indications to me that Bitcoin is bullish, right? At that point, I'm targeting higher prices. The reason why I'm waiting with longs here and why I think it's risky to be catching any knives is because essentially what Bitcoin is doing at this point is it is accepting below all relevant points. It is accepting below the weekly composite. It is, starting to accept below previous year value, below previous month value. It's rejecting of previous quarterly value. So those are all bearish developments. And for all we know, we could just be taking out this low and then do a bit of consolidation, try to break back within value, and then we're getting a lower time from distribution before we go towards this low into the weekly naked point of control confluent with the yearly rolling VWAP. So let's add the yearly rolling VWAP again, right? Let's go back towards an hourly chart. And I mean, it's looking rough at this point. So I'll be keeping it really simple. H4. I think if Bitcoin is bullish, I don't want to be a risky buyer here. Instead, my system prefers to wait for a break back above the previous value. Spend some time in space. Everybody would say, well, you'll have to get an entry there and your stop all the way down here. No, because I'll be waiting for a sweep like that. Then I'll have my entry point, my stop there, and I'll be targeting these equal highs, right? So that's the trade for me right here. I'm not going to be risking anything down here because I don't know what Trump is coming with next, right? I just want the structure to confirm it to me that, all right, well, we're coming off a key contextual level. We're failing to hold us as resistance. We are now back above that previous value high. That's bullish, man. So, right, that's the case. Besides that, I'm sitting on my hands. Like if Bitcoin can show me something along these lines where right now, right, we're getting a decent reaction. Let's see, 30-minute time frame, by the way. Let's quickly take a peek. Do we have any signals on Binance? We do. High volume bar. All right. What time is it? 22. So we've got 8 minutes left within the 30-minute bar. I would say if we close the 30-minute like this, reclaim this, then I think back towards the 30-day. The positioning within this breakdown candle here is going to be important. It's either going to be resistance for another leg lower, or we're going to be reclaiming this as well. And we're going to go back towards these marginally higher lows. No, lower highs. My gosh. So starting to look interesting right here. Nice sign of exhaustion. But that being said, right? We're either going to be for trades next week. I'm getting a bit of excitement here because I haven't been trading for a while. So I'm like, oh, I need to be trading. So, one, we're coming off H8 support. We're taking out these lows. We took out the poor lows. For me to get bullish higher time frame, I need to see a break back above previous month value, confluent with previous year value, confluent with the 5-week composite value area low. Get above here, and we've got a bunch of shit highs here. This is target, TP1, and then potentially much higher, okay? Get back above here, consolidation. At that point, we're running it back. Conversely, if we... Right now, we're getting some reaction. But if we're getting a consolidation like this, we do a bit of two-way trades here. And then we spike back up, fill in the fair value gap that we're going to be forming up here. And Bitcoin is unable to accept above previous year value, back above previous month value low, and we reject with a high volume bar or whatever. At that point, I think we're running it back into the weekly naked point of control, confluent with the yearly rolling VWAP right here as a target. And at that point, I'm thinking I will be trying to catch a knife. This right here is not a good of enough area for me to be trying to catch a knife. The yearly rolling VWAP, I'm certainly going to be trying to catch a knife there, right? Because I think that's going to be max opportunity down here. Let me catch up on the chat. So about to go sub 100. Yo, what's up, man? What's up, Lucifer? Bro, I mean, the only funny thing to me here is exactly like that. And the only reason why I think this is funny is because I missed it, right? So yeah. But I do think that's going to be a good, this one is going to be a good one to bet on. What Soul? Soul's just fucking, oh. Soul's kind of flirting here. So for Soul, what I need to see, considering that we are trading below previous year value low right here, give me a break back above. At that point, I think it's a clean long back into previous quarterly value low. Look how clean this rejection was at the previous quarterly value low. It's funny because I often get questions like, does VWAP work on altcoins? Well, here's your point, right? Look at that low at the previous year value low. Look at the rejection here at the previous quarterly value low. Anyways, that's the prep for Bitcoin. Is that clear for everybody? Let me quickly summarize it once again. Super, super risky, but best longs, in my opinion, is should there be a move back into this low and we get any sign of absorption or whatever, I'll be risking something to be getting long towards these equal highs. Another long setup would be a clean break back above this structure here. At that point, equal highs. Conversely, for shorts, consolidation, try to break back above this structure. Fail to do so. Short, target this low into the weekly naked point of control. So that's basically my plan for this week. So that clear? Let me quickly take a look at equities because Grant requested it. Equities, VWAP. Equities, VWAP here. And then let's just go this. Let's go back to price action here. By the way, does anybody know how I can get rid of these blue boxes on my chart? I've tried to... Is it this, for example? Is that it? Yeah, 100%. I use the same strategy with altcoins. Yeah, but let me... Someone tell me, like... Settings? Which settings? Trading? Bottom right on your chart. Oh. Thank you. But then it looks like dog shit. I want this. Fuck it. So we're running it back with the blue boxes. Yeah, I know, but I need to have back adjusted on. Anyway, H12. Does it have on the H12? No, it doesn't. So let's move everything towards the H12. Fuck it. H4, we don't really have to have weekly VWAP. Honestly, like ES, look at the interaction there, bro. When was this? On Wednesday. Okay, so to quickly run it down, right here, this is what I posted about on Twitter, right? ES was compressing here at that previous year value high, and look at how quickly it rotated all the way down towards that previous year value low. Now we're even breaking below previous year value low. So purely based on the yearly, I'd say roughly 5K-ish, right? Wait, symbol, electronic hours background. Settings. No. Settings. Symbol. Oh, you're a legend, bro. Thank you. Settings. Be fucking gone with that dog shit. Bye. Settings. Yeah, I've got that on 0. Settings. Be gone. Fucking training view. Dog shit updates. 4-hour chart. All right, bro. Thank you. So honestly, bro, look, if we're taking a look at the yearly, like ES is taking a shit, man. And I mean, as long as it's trading below previous year value low, like I'm inclined to say that we're heading towards that next yearly value area high, which is roughly around 49. This interaction was super clean. Look, we opened up below previous quarterly value area low, rejected that previous quarterly value low there. Big auction lower, right? Similar to Bitcoin. The monthly is looking horrendous. Do we've got any quarterly levels here? We have previous quarterly value low at 51. Okay. So let me just get a crosshair in here at 5160. Okay, let me just get a regular chart in for you. 5160. Previous value low 5160. Oops, not 90, 5160. Old quarterly value low. Like, if there's going to be a sign of a reversion, then, you know, we need to be seeing a clean break back above that old quarterly value low for, you know, a move towards previous year. Like, acceptance back above previous year value low, well, at that point, it's game on, right? But until then, it's looking rough, man. 5K would be that cap moves. Well, yeah, man. 100%. You nailed that one. Yeah. So, okay, so let's take a look. Let's remove. Can we remove the drawings? No, let's not do that. Let's get rid of the aggregation. And let's remove it. This is, you know, this is bad, man. Fuck me. Super clean, look. So yeah, not looking good. Not looking good. Yeah, broke low 100%. We saw a bit of consolidation. So at first, things were looking good. Honestly, I wanted to see this. I wanted to see relief into the 90-day. Basically, the fractal here, where we have, like, this is where we broke lower. Then we found support at the yearly rolling VWAP. We went all the way back towards quarterly rolling VWAP, right? I wanted to see this there. So I wanted to see consolidation back above the 90-day, lower high, and then a break lower. But, you know, we couldn't even go towards the 90 days, just shitting lower. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, in terms of Bitcoin, for Bitcoin, it's going to be pretty clean rotation where 30 minute. Let's get the high volume bar in. Get the aggregation back on. Like, you know, this is the importance with high volume bars. Do you guys see that? Look, we had a point of control there, right? And then a point of control from this high volume bar. Look at where sellers are stepping in, exactly at that point of control. That is why I said, well, if there's going to be relief, whoops, we first need to we need to see clean break back off that point of control. Hold it for a couple of rotations, retest, and then the real test will be this one. So in terms of Bitcoin, just chilling, man. Let it play out, and then, you know, if there's going to be a reaction, you will need to see that the yearly rolling VWAP. If we don't get a reaction there, then it's going to be this, right? And let's just hope that we're not getting it. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Looking for SPY entries, something move right from monthly around 22 high levels. Yeah, I think super. If we're getting like a big flush, like 5K-ish maybe, something along those lines. Anything, yeah. So 5K and then 49, 5K 49, something along those lines would be like that. But that would be insane if we go that low. Time on Friday, Bitcoin strong, ultimate hedge. I think it's just lagging, bro. Honestly, like, I hope it isn't, but I think it's just lagging. You want to take a look at NQ? Sure, man. NQ. Let's get rid of this. Okay. All right. So let's start off with the yearly, okay? Let's see. It's funny though, right? Are you guys using back adjusted or not? Look at the difference here. Anyways, doesn't really make much of a difference in terms of where I think the low should be in. Honestly, what I need to see here is for this, right? We accept the back initially, previous value high hold held as support. We accept the back within value, some consolidation at point of control, rotated towards value low. Now we're breaking back below. If there's going to be a low, I'd say around roughly 17.5 ish, right here. 17.5. Yeah. Let's take a look at the regular chart. NQ. $17.5. Where's the yearly on this one? Yeah, that's also not good. But in terms of structure, this is a good level. Yeah, I mean, the cord is looking ass. Yearly's looking ass. Quarterly's looking ass. Monthly, weekly. 15.7. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So let's say that Bitcoin is going to be forming a low here, and that we're getting an auction back into the previous value high. I will just be taking a look at which is the weakest, which is underperforming, and I'll be shorting that. So that is why, you know, I do requests on altcoins from time to time, but you will never really see me, you know, you guys know it as well, right? Altcoins are just higher beta to Bitcoin. So I'll just take a look at, you know, if Bitcoin is heading into a key contextual level here, which one is underperforming at that point of time, and which one has decent volume, and at that point I'm shorting it. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Still good though, right? We got 107 peeps here watching right now. It's good. But yeah, honestly, I think a lot will be dependent on Trump. Like if he's coming out with some surprise in terms of, you know, if they want to mitigate last week, because I'm pretty sure that they had a stacked weekend in terms of meetings. I'm not sure if they, you know, got any good deals with the countries in terms of tariffs, right? From the percentages. So we'll have to take a look. If I'm just going to go about structures and I'm going to be keeping it really simple in Bitcoin, going to be removing this for now, I'd say the poor lows, we can remove it because we already swept it. This is kind of a range, but we're going to be removing it right now. Bitcoin is just this. Like this is not what you want to see for longs right now, because we're basically trading in the middle of nowhere at this point. I'd say the best longs here to be taken are around the 365-day VWAP confluent with the weekly naked point of control. I'm not going to be looking at this on a 1 minute chart. You know, what I need to see is, let's say that we do something like this, form short-term low, sweep that low, market structure break. At that point, any pullback needs to be shallow. We don't need to be going all the way back down again, right? It's a sweep of the low, shallow pullback, next leg upwards. Shallow pullback, next leg upwards, right? And then confirmation for me, especially if we're sweeping the yearly rolling VWAP and then reclaim previous year value high. At that point, I'm confident enough to say lows are in and we're going to go towards all-time high, right? But until then, this is big ass resistance. So any pullback back into 89 or 81.9k can be considered as a potential shorting opportunity. And we'll see what happens next. Let's take a quick peek here at TPO again. Okay, so this is interesting here. Do you guys see that the point of control has now migrated towards the lows? That's an indication that there's a lot of volume heading into these lows here, right? We had the same thing right here on this day, where initially the point of control was trading in the middle, but then there was a large amount of absorption here at these highs. We can see it here by the buy delta as well, right? Point of control shifted upwards. Let's see if we expand this profile real quick. Point of control shifted upwards. At that point, if we're trading up here, we need to be holding the point of control support, because if we fail to hold it as support, all the positioning here that was positioning for more upside will get squeezed lower. Same story here. If we're bearish, you need to see this point of control hold as resistance going for this point right here. Because if we let's say that we're bearish, right? We might be doing a little bit of this, fill in a single print gap, reject again, right? And then go towards naked value low or whatever this line is. But reclaim the naked point of control could be interesting, right? We could be squeezing some late shorts back into, don't get overly bullish, because this is the composite value low, right? Even if we go all the way back up, this is resistance. Acceptance back within, sure. At that point, we're going to be targeting the highs. But so far, but it's interesting to see here that the volume, this is the volume VPOC is shifting towards the lows here. 30-minute chart. Let's take a quick peek here at the high volume bar. Right? Resistance to the tick. Go towards another low. The moment we start to trade above, that's when we're probably getting a squeezed high. Yeah, it's daily TPO. Ethereum VWAP, sure thing, man. Ethereum. Bro, Ethereum is just total dog shit, man. Nah. Can't make much of it, to be honest. Ethereum is just super weak. Oh, really? I think I had some lines on this one as well. Yeah. At this point, we might just be going for the lows. Reset chart view. Let's go back towards the 4-hour chart here. Hourly. Let's quickly tune down the high volume bars. I mean, it's not looking good, man. Solana, let's take a look. Sol. Like Sol is that's yeah, we covered that in a bit. Let me show you. So we're currently at support. 12-hour chart. Look, we can see how relevant this is the previous year value low, right? The actual low, the actual low, the actual low. Right now, we're starting to trade back below it. So I wouldn't be interested in any longs here unless we can get a close back above previous year value low. It needs to show you the conviction, right? Get back above this level, and then we can target previous quarterly value low again. But until then, like, this is going to be, you know, this is a make it or break it situation for a lot of these pairs, to be honest. Previous value low needs to hold. But it will all be dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is going to be forming a low, reclaiming the previous month, etc., then sure, altcoins will go with it. But as long as Bitcoin is trading below 81.5k, it's bearish. But I like the destination of the yearly running VWAP. Yeah, sure. The weekend move has a higher probability of being a fake out, 100%. But still, you know, whether it's going to be a fake out or not, I'm still going to be, you know, looking at my contextual levels. So, you know, if this is a fake out, sure, I don't really care. But I don't want to I don't want to be a buyer here, because we're basically trading. Because we're trading in the middle of nowhere here, right? There's no real structure to be taking any trades off. Right here, all the way down here, there's nothing. Right here, even if this is a fake out, let it fake out all the way down here, even better. Sweep it, reclaim it, then I'll buy it for a rotation back into 81.5. And then maybe I'll sell it again, right? But reclaim this, and it's on. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, whatever Bitcoin does, like I said it on Twitter, it can do whatever it wants down here. I honestly don't care. And you shouldn't as well. The moment we start to trade above 81 or 82k, that's when things get interesting. On Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on Hype, on Sol, on whatever altcoin you want to be trading. The moment we trade back above this level and can hold it as support, that's when you will see risk getting back on into the markets, at which we can expect Bitcoin to auction back towards the equal highs. What do you think will happen with altcoins when that happens? They will do better, right? So if you're seeing a low on Bitcoin, you're taking a look at, you know, all right, which altcoin is outperforming. And of course, it needs to have some relative volume. Otherwise, you can't really be entering the trades. But for now, this is a no trade zone for me. Like, I'm not looking for longs. I'm not looking for shorts. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the market to show its hand. And there will be another setup same day, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, who cares? 1200, 1300. Where is it trading right now? Honestly, bro, I've got Ethereum on my list here, but you know, I'm thinking that we might be running these lows here. Like these. Do we have any weekly structure? What's that all-time high? Look at how bad Ethereum is trading. 1440. That could be interesting. But still, it's underperforming everything. So I'm not really interested in, you know, even if I want to be longing Ethereum, I'm not really interested in it. Yeah, exactly, man. One good trade a week. It's more than enough. But you know, I get it. People will want to be in trades because they need to have that, you know, adrenaline rush of being in a trade. But for me, the lesser I am in trades, the better. Like, I'm only going to be waiting. So the quality trades again this week are going to be based on this structure or this structure. We're ping-ponging between these two boxes. Any pullback followed by a rejection. Now that's an A plus short. Any move back into the 365 day followed by a sweep of the lows. Now that's an A plus long. Anything here in between, you're just being a dick trying to chase something that's not really there, to be honest. Let me just catch up on the chat, by the way. Let me just get a sip of my drink. It's like a final try to head the other way, because there often seems to be a lot of percentage change in these final moments. It's a breakout downtrend creating volatility. What are you referring to? Wait, often before breaking upwards, downwards, there's an initial squeeze up to the opposite side. This seems to happen often enough. So yeah, so let me just adjust. Let me address this. What it means is, I need to be taking longs here. What it means is that whenever, keep an eye here though, right? And just don't break the market for me. Maybe set some stink bits on Kraken as well. Let's go. Let's go. High volume bar. Take a look. Ooh, another high volume bar. Look. Okay, so point of control resistance. What do we expect going forward? Resistance, all right? Reclaim. The moment we start to reclaim a high volume bar point of control, that's essentially often going to be the case where we're going to be running it back. So, resistance. Resistance, right? It's good. It's good to see this in real time, by the way. So, to answer your question, what was your name? Peter Jan. To answer your question, oftentimes when we are trading near a contextual level in the form of resistance or support, what we see is we're getting we're front running a level in the form of maybe this is previous quarterly value high, or maybe this is a 5-day composite value low, whatever, right? Doesn't really matter. But it's resistance. So we form an initial low, and then we get early shorts, right? People getting short, they're putting their stop above this high because they're really eager to get into shorts. However, the best trade is when we move one more time above this high, because that means, one, we've got early shorts where they stop above the high as fuel for move higher, right? Number two, we've got breakout traders watching this high that think that, okay, if we start trading above this high, there is shorts being stopped out. There's breakout traders trying to catch along here. But if someone is absorbing all of that buy pressure here, right, on spot, for example, whatever, and there's a large amount of participation above these highs without follow through, and we reclaim this high like that, then this is your A plus short. Because that means there's enough fuel here right now from all the breakout traders and so on to cause the next break lower. And the same goes into the opposite way, right? Where we initially form a low, stops resting below this low from early longs. Because, if the market isn't really doing like an instant reaction back towards the upside, people are getting impatient, they're getting long, they're putting the stop below the low because they think, well, fuck it, this is the low. And then what does the market do? It auctions one more time back below this low, stops everybody out. Breakout traders short it back into these passive resting orders, right? Someone is absorbing all of the selling pressure. The moment we're getting back above this previous low, the first traders that got long, they will want to get long once again, adding buy pressure. And then the shorters back into this low, they're getting squeezed higher, and then we're getting the reversion upwards, right? So you don't really want to be chasing shit. You just want to let the market same here, right? I'm just chilling. We're like, okay, we're getting a high volume bar there. As long as we're trading below, like, that's bearish. You could even take a short there with an invalidation above the high, to be honest, but now that we're trading this close towards the lows, I would just wait to see how this plays out. This is just a large amount of participation here, though. Let's take a look at TPO real quick once again. All right. Volume point of control remains there. The weekly naked point of control here, sticking out like a sore thumb again, right? How much positioning is there? 2 mil. I mean, what was this? Let me check it. Can I see what this was? It was a naked value low. All right. So we just clean up the naked value low here. This dashed line. This was an anomaly. Would be funny if we were reclaiming the volume point of control right now and then putting in a low. But still, in terms of structure, this is an anomaly. It's not necessarily support. Real structure, the weekly naked point of control, because it is confluent with the yearly rolling VWAP as support. Real structure, this fucking 6-week composite value low in terms of resistance. So, you know, if you're not short, you know, chasing it down here is not really the best thing to do. You're welcome, man. I'll catch you later. See ya. And that's good to know, Peter Jan. That's good to know. Do you think it's crazy if we sweep the low of quarter 4? Where's the low at of quarter 4? We're coming really close right now. Quarter. 3 months. You're referring to? No, this is the first quarter. You're like 50K? Nah, I don't really think. Let's take a look. Like if you're like an order block trader or whatever, like this, funny. Where's that? 72? Then we've got the monthly. $69K precise. Damn. 3-day. Nah, gun to my head, I'd say my gut feeling says that we're either going to be forming like something like this, where everybody is waiting for a sweep of the low and we don't do it, right? Where we form these equal lows and then we close. That's why I'm saying doesn't really matter what we do down here, but the moment we close back above previous value high, we're running it back towards these highs. 100% in my opinion. Confirmation is, you know, acceptance back above the 5-week. At that point, we're definitely going higher. Or higher time frame, we're sweeping this low. You know, some sort of a tree drive structure, reclaim it, and then we're getting a move higher. But, you know, we still need to see, like, I really need to see like a break back above here. 4-hour chart. Like this is our bearish invalidation. Quarter 4 value lows, potential support. Let me just take a quick look here on Bitcoin with the VWAP here. Not equities. I want to have VWAP Bitcoin. Quarter 4. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really want to see that. Do you know why? Look, if we're going to be neglecting the quarterly on its own, and we're going to be using a quarterly composite, right here. Let me just show you this on the big screen. This is the first quarter of this year and the quarter 4 merged together, and then we're getting a you know, from the end date we're getting a, you know, same vibe as the previous quarterly value. In my honest opinion, let's say that this is the range, right? I mean, this is just like, that would be it to me. Like maybe get a bit, but I don't think that we should be trading all the way down into 71. I think the moment Bitcoin really starts to be spending time and space below yearly rolling VWAP, I think it's basically done, man. At that point, we're getting like a really shitty market. Because can I show you that in a 3-day chart? Like what I just want to avoid is this. But right here, during this consolidation, we can't really draw anything like this, right? Where there's like a large amount of time and space below the yearly rolling VWAP. Like this is genuine acceptance below yearly rolling VWAP. Then we're getting the bear market. So if we're getting that right now, like I just want to see a wick. I want to see this. Like these interactions right here. Wick. Maybe spike it. Wick. And then back up. 53K. What's up, Hawk? Hope you're doing well, bro. There's a really old 2015 trend line at the 69K level as well. It's a huge gap around 71, 73, but I wouldn't want to sit down there. Yeah, man. I mean, there's no real, like, a lot of people are, you know, is my internet dying? What the fuck is this? Like, the thing is that I just don't want to, I don't really want to get ahead of myself, right? What I know as per system for me is that this right here is resistance. A sweep of this low into the weekly naked point of control, that's support to me. So I'll be either taking a potential trade here if we're sweeping this for shorts, or get back above for longs, or, you know, sweep that for longs. Short term, like a 30-minute bar, oh, we just closed it. Where's the high volume point of control right now? Trading view is not loading up. So to me right now, what will be important is this volume point of control there. Because if Bitcoin can do this, where it's now back above the volume point of control, then holds it as support, similar to what we saw this as being resistance, at that point, this is your knife catch, right? Because this is as close to the low as I would get in terms of waiting for that validation for, all right, well, we've got enough trapped traders here. We are potentially moving back into the previous value high. But until we do, this remains resistance. Okay. Anyways, I think that's a wrap for today, man. It was a good introduction stream again. We've got 105 viewers right now. Do me a favor and make sure to smash that like button for me. Thank you all for attending today's stream. It's good to be back. For those of you in the Discord, I'll be back streaming 8 a.m. UTC tomorrow morning. The regular schedule resumes. In terms of lower time frame trades, keep an eye on this volume point of control here. If we're spending enough time and space back above this volume point of control there, we might be in for some reversion back upwards. But until then, resistance. All right. Thank you all. And I will see you guys at the end. Take care. Peace.